A to Z Sports Nashville, welcome. Hope everyone is having a wonderful morning, getting ready for the holiday season. And I am joined here by former Tennessee Titan Ben Troupe, played 4 of his 5 NFL seasons. I was actually just talking to Ben and talking a little bit about how different the world is now when you are going from a dynamic playing career. Obviously, you were a second round draft pick in 2004 out of the University of Florida, played 5 years in the NFL. And then at the age of 26, Ben, I think is when was your final year. You now have to transition to do something else. So I want to start our conversation off by just for the Tennessee Titans fans or just NFL fans out there that maybe haven't been following your post playing career. What are you up to nowadays?
Man, I'm in the sports media space, whether that's podcasts and analysts, columnist. When I was on Southern Pigskin, worked with ESPN Radio. I was on ESPN Coastal for about 6-7 years. Shout out to BJ Bennett, man. My guy. And when you get to talking about like what you're gonna do after football, it's not that I wasn't ready to leave, because I was. I got a chance to play 5 years, and I did a Tiki Barber. When I say Tiki Barber, means I want to do 3 things when I want to be the first guy drafted from the team I came from, Florida. I want to be the first guy drafted to the team I went to. I was. And I wanted to walk away on my own terms. So after I officially left football in 2008, in 2009, I had a workout with the Arizona Cardinals. Ken Wisenhunt was head coach. Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, the running game coordinator, the president, and the GM was all watching me work out, and they wanted to sign me. And because I knew I could still play, I could walk away, because Father Time is undefeated. Even if you are LeBron James, it is still undefeated. It's going to catch him at one of these days. I don't know when, but I knew there was more for me other than sports, and I loved every minute of it, from Florida to Tennessee. Forever indebted to Lloyd Reese, may he rest in peace. Jeff Fisher, got a chance to play, have a cup of coffee with the Tampa Bay Bucks with John Gruden. And I end up out there, Al Davis, when he was alive, may he rest in peace, with the then Oakland Raiders. And to see my career now, I got a chance to talk to Floyd Reese 2019. I got to cover the draft, which was in Nashville. I'm over there covering the draft. There go Floyd Reese in the media tent. Everything just came full circle for me. I've done SEC Media Days, ACC Media Days. I've interviewed Kirby Smart and all these, Bill Goldberg. Vince Dooley knew who I was when I went to the Florida Georgia Golf Classic. May he rest in peace. I was doing my Florida Georgia Legends event down there in Jekyll Island at the Westin Hotel when Vince Dooley, when they got the call when Georgia players got the call that Vince Dooley had passed away. It's so many incredible experiences in the media world. I have my own nonprofit, the Uncommon Crew, which is an enrichment mentoring program for boys ages 12 through 18 in my hometown of Swainsboro, Georgia. I'm an author now. I got Uncommon Unfinished. I got Judy and John, my children's book. But the greatest thing I get to be, man, honestly, I'm married. I have children. I have a family. No one told me being married, being happily married, and just embracing being a husband, being a father, being a supporter of people. This is what I get to do. And obviously, the funnest thing I get to do outside of being married to my wife and being a father to my children and being a brother and a son and an uncle, and I get a chance to go around, man, and speak to people. I do speaking engagements. I've spoken to prisons, colleges, universities, organizations. That's what really replaced 2 things that replaced football was humanitarian philanthropic work in the nonprofit sector and speaking. I love football. I'm always gonna love it, but man, it took it away to where I don't regret leaving. I don't regret not playing. I do miss the locker room. I do miss the players. But I'm happy to be on this side of things. I'm in the sports media business now, man. I'm on these airwaves just talking trash as many people have.
I love it, dude. I love it. And I can attest to, once you have kids, things change a lot. Like, it doesn't, right? Like, perspective on life. I have 2 daughters at home as well. And it's my goals before kids and after kids have changed completely. You know what I mean? And obviously I think I'm pretty successful in this industry and I want to continue to be more and more successful, but kids really do change your perspective. So I could not agree more with that perspective on everything. Let me ask you, actually, if I can go to the analyst side of you now, being in the media space, When you first got in the media space, do you feel like your perspective on the game changed at all? Because obviously you're coming from a player perspective. Did it switch, or do you feel like you still stick to that from a more player perspective, from an analyst perspective?
When I first came, you know, excuse me. When I first came on the scene for analysts, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I stunk at it. I stunk at it bad. And here's why. Playing the game and talking the game and breaking down the game is total different worlds.
Yeah.
And I give another shout to BJ Bennett, who became, my best friend in the world now. He brought me on. I got introduced to sports media through a guy by the name of BJ Bennett, who I end up working with, who co-wrote my book with, our book with. He was able to give me real feedback. He was able to say, Ben, you stunk today on there, man. I used to do this segment called Troop Talk. This is when I'm living in New Jersey. Trying to
can I cut you off real quick, Ben? Where did you live in New Jersey? Because I actually live in New Jersey right now. So
I lived in West New York, New Jersey, right beside Hoboken, right beside Jersey City. I could literally, from my apartment, I could see New York City. So gotcha. As soon as you come over the bridge, you go. The first exit you come to, you make a right. I mean, Edgewater. I live like I could walk to Edgewater, right there on the Hudson. And I enjoyed it. Outside of Black Ice, which no one told me about. My daughter, my daughter was going to this daycare, and I come out, and this is big old ice hill, and I hit it, and I fell like I was in a Home Alone movie, man. I went up in the air, fell on my back. I jumped up, ran back in the building. I don't know why I did this. I come back outside. I get ready to get in my car, and I look behind me, and there's a lady in her car in the passenger side, and she gave me a look like, yeah, I saw her. Like, yeah. But I enjoyed Jersey. I enjoyed working in New York, and I think the thing about I got real serious about this media space because of BJ and Kevin. Kevin Thomas, he was the host of 3 and Out, ESPN Coastal, because they could give me real feedback. Like most guys in my position don't make it. Because people are afraid to tell you the truth. They're afraid to tell you, man, that doesn't make any sense. You got to be able to have a real take. Yes and no, or they're not that good. That's not a take. And just sticking with it. Guys by the name of Newish Scruggs, who used to be NBC Sports Radio. A guy by the name of David Schwartzman, who used to work for NBC. David Schwartzman used to work for the NBC Sports Radio, and he worked in the CBS building. It's crazy. He's in the CBS building in New York. And way back in the corner in this dark hallway, there was NBC Sports Radio. So I had a lot of people, but nobody like BJ, who taught me about the clock, who taught me about standing on your take, who taught me about you being a former player gives you an extra adage that most people don't have. So you know what the game is supposed to look like. He said, just respect the people who have only done this. So I was still a rookie, man, when it came to this. But I mean, I've gotten a lot better at it since then. I think.
Love it. So I want to ask, because obviously the Tennessee Titans channel, so a lot of fans are going to be interested in just, I guess, maybe early experiences in Nashville. So I want to take you back to 2004 for a second when you were drafted by the Tennessee Titans. When you initially got the call and knew that you were going to be part of that franchise, you're going to head to Nashville, what was your perspective on the franchise and the city of Nashville just in general?
Oh, but I was like anybody else. I said, oh, man. Steve McNair, Eddie George, crazy. And 21-year-old young man, you get the call, you see the 615 area code. It ain't like phones now to tell you what state it is. And then Jeff Fisher said, how you doing, Ben? Jeff Fisher, Tennessee Titans, you ready to be a Titan? And I'm like, yeah. And he put me like on the phone with like Floyd Reese. And
yeah.
The greatest thing ever happened to me was going to the Tennessee Titans because I'm a country boy. I don't know nothing about no big city. Being from Georgia, going to college in Florida, I had to go a state up. What messed me up about Nashville, and I'm going to say it to this day, was Central Time. I knew nothing. And I get to the airport. I get drafted, so I got to be there the next day. So back when I got drafted, when they did first, second, and third round, first day, and then they did 4 through 7 the next day. Now you got the first round, second round, third round, then fourth. I get to the airport, I get my ticket. And the ticket said 1 o'clock departure time, 1 o'clock arrival time. And I'm like, what type of ticket is this? So I go up to the lady and I'm like, ma'am, like something's up with this ticket. I said, look, it's saying 1 o'clock. I said this. I remember this. I said, so let me get this straight. Flying from Atlanta to Nashville, time doesn't move? Like time doesn't. And this lady was so confused. She's like, what do you mean? I said, ma'am, how do you leave at 1 and get there at 1? It took me like a year and a half to realize, dude, because my mom used to call me sometimes, when she get up early. And she'd go, what time is it? And she'll go, oh, it's 8 o'clock. Like, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to be at work. So I'm thinking I'm late. So I get in the car, get to work, and I realize, am I earning? It took me like about a couple of months to realize, wait a minute, wait, something ain't right. So other than that, man, Nashville was incredible. It's the greatest city to grow up in as a young man in pro sports because you got the music side of things, you got the city side of things, but the whole city is welcoming. Back then I was famous. I wasn't a celebrity, but I was famous because of what I've done. And I remember going into the gift shop, man, trying to see if my jersey was in there. So I go in there, I'm looking around, don't see my jersey, go in there, look around. So one day the lady says that she says, Ben, your jersey sold out already. Like it's gone. Like when we drafted you, and it's the most humbling experience I've had in Nashville was driving down Jefferson Street in Nashville. I see 2 kids. One has on my 86 jersey when I was a rookie. The other had on my 84 jersey my next 3 years. And the kid wearing the 86 jersey is telling the kid wearing the 84 jersey, you're not a real Ben Troupe fan because if you were, you would have known he wore 86 as a rookie. And he like, don't touch my. It's stuff like that, man. I'm forever indebted to the city of Nashville because they embraced me like I was their own. And the team wasn't my first 2 years. The team wasn't that good. Then we went to 8-8. Then we went to the playoffs. The support in Nashville is hard to describe because Nashville. I mean, the Titans aren't a media darling. They're a part of the NFL. They're not what people. They're not Kansas City. They're not Philadelphia. They're not Pittsburgh, and they're in the AFC South. But man, I enjoyed every single moment. The hardest part about Nashville was leaving after my 4th year. Man, I knew I wasn't going to get re-signed. You feel like a part of you is left behind because I felt as though I could have played a lot better, done more for the city, been a better native, been a better a resident of Nashville because the city gives you so much, man, from the fans to the people. So, I'm forever indebted to the city of Nashville. And if it's one place I could move back to, if my wife would let us, I could see myself living in Nashville forever because I think it's one of the best cities in the country.
I love it. Yeah, I had the same experience with Central Time. Obviously, I'm on East Coast time. When I started with A to Z Sports, which is based in Nashville, everything that they said was in Central Time, and I had to reprogram my brain to know when meetings were and all that type of stuff. So yes, I know that struggle. Absolutely, time zones can be absolutely tricky. I definitely want to get into the more of the modern Tennessee Titans and kind of where they're going a little bit. But before we do, folks, just going to get a quick ad break here. Want to let you guys all know who the wonderful sponsors that work with A to Z Sports that help to make the show go each and every morning.
Just want to take a quick moment to thank you guys for liking the content, for the 5-star Google reviews. I know we're pre-recorded right now for a few days over the summer break, but we'll be back live sooner than you know. But got to give a shout out to all of our great sponsors. And we'll start, as always, with our friends at Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. That surety bond is right there with them. They're local and online at bartondrury.com. Lipscomb University and their sports analytics program, online grad program for you to turn that passion of sports into a career at Lipscomb University. And of course, Holiday World and Splash and Safari. We have no more tickets to give away, but that doesn't stop you guys from having a great family experience just a couple hours north of Nashville at Holiday World and Splash and Safari at holidayworld.com. But thanks again for you guys supporting us, giving us a couple mornings off here in the middle of the summer. Hope everybody has a great holiday break, and we'll be back live. Appreciate it and enjoy the rest of the content today.
Continue our conversation with former Tennessee Titan Ben Troupe. Ben, before we went to our break there, you talked a little bit about your experiences with Nashville early on and how grateful you were with being a part of this organization. I think it was Michael Griffin who we had on as well that kind of said that he loved the market, but it is a little bit of a smaller market, obviously. I think you're kind of talking about that as far as like maybe the national exposure conversation. The Tennessee Titans, since the turn of the century, have had some very proud years. Like you mentioned, times with Jeff Fisher where they had several great seasons, including making a Super Bowl appearance in the 99 season, 2000 season. And we also talk about Mike Vrabel had a couple really great years early on in his tenure. But this is a team right now that is starved to get back to that prominence, to get back to that consistency. Where do you see this team right now? Just from like more of the outside perspective, year two of Brian Callahan, and just kind of your perception of where the team is right now.
I mean, I think they're building. I think when you are a team that's in lack of a culture, it has to be built. I think that Cam Ward is a guy that could be a culture shifter. He's not going to build it because he's a rookie. You can't build it with the rookie quarterback. You can help him build it, together. And I think when you think about this, two things about the Titans is always going to be apparent. They're going to have to be consistent, and they're going to have to find a way to be competitive in the AFC South that doesn't have a clear front runner. I know what Houston is doing. Indy no longer has an Andrew Luck. I paid in the Peyton Manning heyday with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark. We weren't going to beat those guys, basically what I'm saying. And I think the thing about the Titans now is they are a season and a moment away. It takes a moment during the season for everybody to see it go, you saw that? That's what they're capable of. And it takes a season to let them know, dude, we could be what Tampa Bay is to the NFC South. We could be what Kansas City is to the AFC West because you always got a best team. When I was with the Titans, Marcus Robinson, former safety for the Titans now, coaching in the National Football League, one of these teams. He said, either you're the best team in the division or you build your team to beat the best team in the division. And I think that's where the Titans are. They're building their team to beat Houston. They're building their team to stay competitive and beat Jacksonville. They're building their team to stay competitive and beat Indy. But they're coming for the throne of the AFC because winning the division means I don't have to worry about other scenarios, regardless of my record. I do enough to win my division. I get to host a playoff game, and anything can happen. This Titans team, identity used to be when I was there with the Titans, it was Steve McNair.
Yep.
It was a high-power passing game with a complimentary running game and incredible defense. When Mike Vrabel came in, it was a running game. I got Derrick Henry. I'm going to run the football. And listen, we're going to do play action pass. We're going to try to play complimentary defense. Now, it's a question mark. Not because I don't think it's a question that can't be answered, but when you're the number one pick in the draft, it's because you had the worst season a year ago. I saw a lot of Cam Ward, down there in Miami. I love what Cam Ward brings to the table. I love the fact that he's a born leader. I love the fact that he did it at 2 schools. But this is the National Football League. The last time you was the best player on the field was probably in college. Now it's your goal to play the best when you're on the field. And I think he has that ability. And I think for a Titans team listen, when I say a question mark, it's a question mark in Jacksonville. It's definitely a question mark in Indy. The only team there's no one questioning is Houston because of what they did, D'Amico Ryans, C.J. Stroud. If the Titans can answer the question of who are we and they can get to that identity sooner rather than later, I think now because if I know what my identity is, I know what my identity lacks. And right now you don't have an identity, so you don't know what you lack. Now, you can always build around the quarterback. Quarterbacks run the league. You need Cam Ward to be good before he becomes great. You need him to make strides, but you're going to have to live with his mistakes. He's going to make some mistakes, and who knows? I don't know how competitive the Titans going to be. I always, outside of Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix and those type of outlier type rookie seasons, a rookie is a rookie, and they're going to do rookie things. And sometimes they're going to remind you, I'm a rookie. Remember, hey, I'm a rookie. The team is